Sorry about a little, we went overboard, but we have our guest speaker, our third topic for the day. And the topic is transportation management, SAP Transportation Management for manufacturing. And we have to give that topic to talk about it, we have Ashish. And Ashish has been managing multiple projects, resources using Zoho application or modules. He has been meeting clients, external consultants, understanding their requirements and aligning, resolving for smooth execution and delivery. So he has been with a lot of technical work, so I'll not go into details, but his what he's passionate about is, of course, technology, but the trends like Internet of Things, mobility, cloud integration, analytics, blockchain expertise, IoT expertise, and all those who are from the IT world and who thought that you got lost in some medieval golden age rather, you are back on track with a new trend, new technical topic. So yeah, over to you, Ashish. Absolute honor to have you.
Yeah, thanks for the quick update. Also, very nice, interesting topics. We heard on these. I mean, the first one on the HR. I mean, the change, and this one on the writing part. Like so, mine is a totally different but practical kind of topic. Like on supply chain. The topic is vast. It has logistics, it has purchasing, storage, or inventories, and dispatches. Multiple functions are there, and within this, one of it is within logistics, which is transportation management. So it is more in context with the third party logistics or service providers. And in manufacturing, if you are having a setup of multiple plants, then for the inbound and outbound logistics, where we try to save on the logistics cost, and you companies like big companies looking for a real time visibility, there we try to actually
Just one second, Ashish. Will you be
help
your
yeah.
screen by any chance? Will you be sharing
Yeah,
any?
so I'm coming to that. So just setting up the context first. So I will just okay, I'll just put on the first slide. Okay, 1 minute. So is it are you able to see this first slide? Supply
Yes.
chain
Supply.
transportation management. Yeah, okay. So just was setting up the context, like, so this is how, I mean, from the high level supply chain or a robust topic, from there within the function where purchasing is there, where manufacturing is there, and after that the dispatches or the dispatching of the finished goods, there transportation plays a major role, where you have big service providers, then your CFO and the dispatch guy is always struggling to get the real time visibility of your vehicles, inbound, outbound, as well as the logistics cost, where they are trying to capture the fuel cost, the freight, also the overheads like labor, loading, unloading, all these. I mean, all at a micro level, you will get a visibility through transportation management. SAP has embedded transportation management, as well as a separate box you can keep, or a server you can keep, and it can be integrated to the main system. Like, so this is how at a high level I'm going to discuss or update on supply chain, within which transportation management uh, is a topic which I have selected. So just going ahead on to the, so these are the four basic or the subtopics, like what is the purpose of this kind of transportation. A little bit I had updated earlier, then a solution overview at a high level, and how is the structure within any kind of SAP setup, like, and how it helps the organization to actually get onto a simple transportation management or a transport visibility, like, and how the configuration highlights, or the basic steps in configuration. These will be at a screen level, which I will not be going into much detail, but at least at a high level I can show you a few basic screens of SAP transportation management. Like, so the purpose, I mean, so major integration or the transport management starts with your orders. So when you are in inbound side, when you are procuring, so you procure the raw materials and other semi finished goods or bought out items. So these are through the purchase orders or stock transfer orders, which are integrated through a order based request of transportation management. And if you are on the sales or you are on the uh, shipping of the sales or the finished goods, you have sales orders, or you have the outbound deliveries, which are integrated with the transportation management kind of setup, like so within SAP, like so. These are the high level transportation requests or basic requests, which are converted from the different orders, like sales orders, purchase orders, stock transfer orders. And from this you get transportation requests generated automatically, or you can also create manually. And then you can actually ship your goods or procure the components or goods from different suppliers, like. So is it feasible? I mean, all of you are able to get on to the topic, like, I mean, this transportation management supply chain. Is it audible? You are all able to hear this? Hello?
Yes, yes, it
Yes.
is.
So I'm going to a high level solution. How do we go about for if any you are going to any business? Let us say there is a setup where there are huge warehouses, then there are multiple distribution centers, plants are there. So you need to actually provide a good template or a questionnaire where you try to capture the volume of the transactions, volume of the shipments, as well as the inbound outbound deliveries, so which can help you to structure your or get to a solution for the client, like. So how do you analyze basic transportation? So either it can be a order based transportation request or the requirement, or it can be a delivery based transportation requirement. So these are the two ways in which you can actually implement or utilize SAP for any kind of business, like. Then at a high level, if you see, you have transportation planning at the center. So you have a transportation optimizer or planner, which helps you to optimize your transportation. So the logic here is you have a ERP logistics integration. So you can say SAP ECC or HANA database is there. And then you have a forwarding order management. You have a transportation charge, which is a freight calculation or a rate is defined. And then you have a forwarding settlement with a freight settlement on other side, like. So either you go with the order based or you go with the freight order management, like. So first is you get a request. You can be a, let us say, dispatcher. Then you raise a request. It goes through the SAP transportation planning module, and then from there you have a freight order management, which has a further integration with your rate or a charge management. And then there is a settlement of this freight, and then you actually get a invoice update or a freight settlement at your accounts through a internal integration or configuration, like. So this is a high level ERP integration or a logistics integration. Detail this is there, I mean, overview is there. For example, what I'm explaining is this part now: freight order and settlement part. So it can be a ERP order coming from, let us say, sale order. You have created a sale order in SAP, and then from there you are getting a order based transportation request. You are creating this, so you can automate this through some settings, or you can create manually, or you can have a ERP delivery from the delivery based request or a requirement you can generate, and then you convert it to a transportation order, like. So this is a screen, like, I mean, this is how nowadays all is web based. HANA helps you to have tiles or use web based uh, clicking of the relevant screens or transactions you want to get onto. So this is at a high level overview of transportation requirements, freight orders, requirements, which are finalized, not finalized, then creating deliveries. Then either you have order based or a delivery based ERP. So mostly sale orders, purchase orders, and stock transfer orders are actually converted into transportation requests. So it's a high level, a good slide. Like, I mean, if you, as discussed earlier, I mean, all these orders are being processed or converted to transportation request. And from there you create a freight unit. A freight unit is like you have, it can be in kilometers, it can be in different way of, it can be in number of trips also. It can be in number of a number of goods, how many you are loading onto the truck, or how many pallets you are loading. Then depending on that, you define the freight unit, and then you do a planning as discussed earlier, the transportation optimizer. From there, you create a freight order, and from there you do a settlement. Like, so that is how a basic high level transportation management process is there. So this is how actually, I mean, so as discussed earlier, basic things are the OTR type, or the, I mean, the transport request type, how it is, condition. So this is more technical. You need not get into all these. I mean, I can get into a further detail as if we go ahead on these different details. So the logic is you have to have a shipper, the pick, pack, and shipping kind of concept, and then loading, unloading, and then the what kind of mode of transport is there, what kind of vehicle is there, and what kind of uh, uh, dispatch you are doing, either by road, by sea, or by air, and then whether these are captured into your transport requests is the logic here used by SAP. So again, a screen where you define different activation of documents, purchase orders, and the control keys defined over here. So, so this is one thing. Then there is an end-to-end scenario. 1 minute, I'll just share the screen. Hold on. So at a high level, so there is a consigner and consignee kind of concept over here. It can be a one-to-one, I mean, door-to location transfer, or it can be a multi-stop truckload planning. So you have Ola Uber kind of logistics also, or you can, I mean, bring at a real time. You can bring into our transportation management. So any vehicle dispatching your plant, and from that plant, your goods are going to a warehouse, and from that warehouse to another plant. That also you can configure here into the system, and you can call it as a multi-stop truckload planning through our SAP TM, and you can get a real-time visibility of your goods movement from your plant one to plant two. In between, if there is a DC, you can say DC1. So all these visibilities, or the real-time visibility, you can get for your goods and for the vehicle you are using. Like, so for example, you can use these basic parameters like characteristics, like sales area, plant, shipping point. You can have existing or a new sale order type, a purchasing organization, and company code. This is more technical from the SAP. Those who are in SAP or aware of, they can actually understand at micro level. Like, so what kind of products you are shipping, which is the carrier you are using, which customer is being mapped, or you or being for which customer you are using to do the complete that end-to-end scenario. Like, then again, as discussed earlier, the mode of transport, the transportation lanes, what zone you are going to use, what is the direction, what is the route you are using, and what organization structure you are using. Like, it's a sales organization or a purchasing organization. Like, so which keys you are using, what is the order request type, what we discussed, like, and in transportation, what is the condition for it, sale order integration, then freight unit configuration is one of the aspect. So these are the basic settings you have to do. You have to define a planning profile, and you have to define a capacity selection, how much utilization is there, half truckload or a full truckload. Then you optimize the planning in the transportation. Then you also integrate the planning cost and try to do a carrier selection. So these are the basic profiles you have to select before you actually do a transportation optimization. Okay, then which freight order type you are using. From there, how you are doing the planning, and then from the planning you will get you have to do some settings like calculation profile, settlement profile. There is a master data you have to consider, the scale, rate table, and the freight agreement. And then you will get output, like you will get a output for your this, like you will get a transportation management output. Like, these are the 10 trucks required for tomorrow's shipment for from one plant to another. So that kind of truck simulation, as well as the freight simulation, you can get. Like, so these are the basic things actually from my side on transportation management. So I'm done with the presentation. Actually, it is very high level, but a lot of SAP screens and many details at a micro level I can actually explain to you. But I'll show you one requirement gathering kind of 1 minute. So are you able to see the screen actually?
Yes, we can see it.
Yeah. So this is actually, so when you get into a client place, so it is very difficult to get all this data. So what is it like? You first analyze what processes are involved. So you first identify what is the gap where the standard process is not being used. What is the process they are using as of now? For example, planning and optimization for primary bulk kind of cylinders. There were two, three cylinders or different kinds of LPG cylinders being distributed by this company. So primary bulk is one kind of scenario. Then order management for the secondary cylinders. So you have to list down the business process. So the entire SAP or any kind of business works on the business process, and then from there you actually analyze and find out the micro level steps. What are the gaps? What is the severity? How is ECC able to handle or not? And then you have to then find the gap and then the capability and the risk. Like, so that is how actually detail. So we also had listed down the deviation process now, name what could be the deviation, what where we might need a customization like. So this is just I mean a template I'm showing. So many things like this come up when we are actually into a project. I'm talking from the project point of view as well as from a transportation management implementation point of view, and that is how I'm trying to actually explain the concept here. So these two, three things I've sent, I've just shared. So just one more process I will just explain. Okay. Sale order. Okay. Okay. So there are other basic topics also. I mean, some miscellaneous topics. I'll just scroll these things like, I mean, so you get to know the destination, the source location, then what is the custom process involved. So many things our SAP transportation captures. These things don't come into standard SAP. You only get a transportation cost through development or customization. But our SAP TM will help you to get all this port and transportation and freight order calculations like. So there are different conditions and terms and conditions also can be captured here. You see general data, validity, then the condition at the first level, second level. So these also you can capture in TM. Then so similar thing. Like that's it. Like so that is how I mean it is. I mean that is all on transportation management. Like. So charge management, I mean, this freight thing, just two slides here. We saw freight settlement. So the high level process is like this. You have a forwarding settlement document and freight settlement document. And you need to define a freight agreement with your service providers like DHL or any other transportation service provider. And then you have to have a transportation charge calculation sheet defined into this our SAP transportation management. And that helps you to actually get a charge rate table as a master data. And the first you do a agreement, freight agreement, you do a charge calculation, you convert it to a charge elements, and then do define a rate table within the system. So you need not every time when the vehicle is moving from one location to another or the destination to another, you get a charge or a freight calculation in the system in a simulated way also, but also at a real time when you are actually executing these transportation orders like. So that is the real value add for the business like. So that is how it looks like, calculation sheet, freight agreement, and that's it. Like, so that is what I had to explain. Sorry, I mean I'm quite fast, and there are some screens, some micro level things, but a high level overview and a picture or a snapshot I had to present like. So that is how I've actually aligned this presentation like. Okay, and that's all from my side as of now.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. I think that's a great technical presentation. So a general question on the whole. Yeah, excuse me. General question on S4HANA. Like, are there any major changes in the transition to S4HANA?
Yes, yes. So there are like so many things are added into TM. You can have a real-time visibility with integration with multiple systems and warehouse management. Also, yard dock management is what you have. Then you also have Fury apps you can use for the transportation kind of visibility at your, I mean, on your Android phone. Okay, and there is actually one more. There are some real-time visibility enablers actually which are integrated with your earlier you had to do a lot of settings or configurations for this when the transportation server was different. Now all these are embedded. SAP TM is now embedded within S4 HANA. Earlier it used to be a separate box. So businesses now have both options of embedding TM in their HANA database, as well as you can keep it as a server as a separate box if you are not on SAP HANA like. So these are the two things as of now in the market. But TM, they have a robust and partial palettes and many scenarios which were not being handled earlier can be handled in this kind of, I mean, new version of TM like.
Okay, got it. Yeah, thank you very much. We definitely want to, touch base with, in future for any, synergies in the SAP area. Because we work in, SAP related projects and integrations.
Yeah, nice to know. So I mean, I'm basically with some 15-20 years of this SAP experience. MM and SD I had started with, and APO, and then landed into transportation management. And before that, a solid domain actually of 9 to 10 years. So let us see. I mean, a couple of projects I've done on TM as well as warehouse management.
Right. Actually, I mean, do you know the reason why? I mean, like across the multiple SAP customers that we see, not many of them have really implemented transportation management in its entirety. Do you know some of any of the reasons why?
So the logic here, so what happens is, see, people, I mean, so companies struggle to get onto the standard SAP modules at a first level. So if you are going for SAP, let us say HANA, you are implementing, or ECC you are implementing, standard modules of materials management and sales and distribution with integration with production planning. From there to integration, I mean, giving an update to the finance and controlling. This itself is a big task, and the users are not so capable of doing all these transactions. And those companies who are actually are able to cope up with these standard kind of modules and transactions, they are actually more mature and would, I mean, they are going for this kind of APO and transportation and extended warehouse management kind of modules. And so that is where I can say that maturity level, or companies maturity level to handle current ERP or SAP is a major factor for a company to decide. So why, when a CEO or a CIO, when they actually approach, I mean, when the CIO approaches the CFO or a CEO, that boss, I'm looking for this transportation management module. So they always get a reply. I mean, the top management owner always, or the chairman or the CEO always says, boss, you are not able to utilize 100% of SAP, standard SAP. And then why we should go for a higher end modules? So TM, is a high end module within supply chain. So that is the reason. And those CEOs or companies who are mature, and those who really want to track these logistics costs. So for example, in 3PL or 3PL logistics, and where you have only transportation as a business, there they actually implement TM. And there they try to get onto the transportation management module. So another thing is, IT companies also are not so mature, who are not having, because they don't have people to sell their initial, I mean, the standard SAP module or a package itself, or they don't get the orders. And then how and where, from where they will try to sell transportation management? I'm talking from pre-sales and sales point of view. And if they get the order, then who will deliver? So that is also another area from the, if you see from the other side of the desk. Both are a problem, not only the client or the company, because their maturity level is what I had told you earlier. and capability to run and manage this transportation module. Similarly, IT companies don't have that maturity also, as well as the capability actually to deliver and win the projects. First is to win, first is to have an internal capability, pre-sales, as well as a solid resource, multiple, at least 3-4 resources to actually have this transportation warehouse management APO IPP kind of solution offering within the company, and then from there to reach out to the market, do pre-sale sales, and actually win the deal itself is a challenge. And that is why, so when you are not capable, then what you will present actually to the client or the prospect? So prospect is always, very smart. I mean, the companies, they are having multiple IT service providers coming to their door actually, and then they know what is there. And then SAP itself, SAP account manager and SAP itself are always supporting them from other side. One mail to SAP account manager, yeah, they will say that this transportation module can help you in this way, but at this cost. And as compared to you, I mean, you presenting it and or not presenting it, or doing it halfway. So what happens is you don't get the orders, or you might, I mean, the client might not get interested. So might be interested to, might not be interested to get onto the high end supply chain module. Like, so there are various factors and reasons actually, but this is a major reason. I mean, depends what business process or business they are running. If the if from the 100 rupees of sales of one product, if the transportation cost is 5 rupees, so they don't, I mean, CFOs, and CEOs, they don't want to track this TM cost or freight cost, and they don't want real time visibility. But if it is exactly, let us say, 50% or 30 rupees of transportation cost is there, then yes, the CFO CEO will definitely, they would like to implement this TM modules. And so many companies are having this TM, and in India at least, many companies have started using, implementing. So Colgate Palmolive is one of it, and Super Gas is one of it. So they are implementing this because their entire business is on fleet management and transportation management and real-time visibility of these transportation lanes, sorry, transportation movements and goods movements. So if the business is on it, then they have to have this TM kind of tightly integrated and high visibility and high cost, not high cost, but at least robust kind of package. Like, so it integrates with your purchase, it integrates with your sales, it also integrates with your manufacturing. Like, so there actually, then TM is preferred module for as over and above the standard modules. Like,
Sure. Thank you very much for the explanation. Yeah. Anybody else has any other questions? Yeah. Otherwise, I think, Julia, are you there?
Yes, I am. Thank you for your time. I know it's went a little late. Sorry about that, but as we want to share as much we can with the community, we try to do that. Thank you for your time once again. So
thanks for the opportunity. Thanks for the opportunity, and nice to connect. We'll see how it goes about forward. Also, I mean, we'll be there for any kind of supply chain topics.
Sure, absolutely. Yes, your expertise will definitely, be helpful to many. I'm pretty sure, and we'll get back to you. Okay, so I just wanted to remind our attendees audience, thank you for joining in with us, but we will be having these webinars every Wednesday, as I said, from 12 p.m. EST. And this week we are having our younger youth webinar on Friday, this Friday at 8:45 p.m. EST. And the topic they have chosen is inventions, famous inventors and inventions. And trust me, they choose their topic, they are passionate about it, and then only they do these webinars. They attend regular prep sessions, and then they present live. And for the older youth group, we have, which we go live on Saturday, 4 p.m. EST. Here this week, we will be, the youth will be talking about their creativity, what they have done in the past, what they are doing in the present, and what they plan to do in the future. So it will be very interesting, innovative, and I guess they are thinking more. And if you have any ideas, do connect with us. There are two ways of connecting. If you have a kid and you want to register, go to our website, letusrockit.com/youth, and enroll your kids and join our prep sessions. And if you are a professional speaker, you want to join as a speaker or as an attendee, you can do that as well. Or you can email us at webinar@letusrockit.com. With that, we end this session. Thank you everyone for joining in. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, Jitanshu, can you stay back if you don't mind? Even if I after like just want to connect on a leadership question for 1 minute.
I'm here.
Okay.